over this time. I know for us, we have marketing things that we're always looking for help on, so I'll probably ask some marketing questions. But things like that, things that you were like, okay, I started this business, I was so excited, and then I didn't realize I had to still learn ... I think that's where a lot of people get caught up. You start the business, and then finances or knowledge is normally the reason why people quit. And so
burnout is the main reason.
Really,
burnout is the main reason
because you're always learning.
Yep.
Yeah.
BTS. Now we're good though.
Okay, we're good.
Yes.
Yay! So let me turn the music off. But yeah. So okay, two things. My show's called Entrepreneur-ish because I'm helping people drop this ish. I want them to be real entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So when we're talking to new entrepreneurs. People who just started. Whether they just came up with a concept or just actually giving themselves permission to actually go through with pursuing their dreams, whatever it is, we're talking to year one entrepreneurs. And then bossies is the other thing. That's what I call my watchers. They're my boss besties. Yes. And so I always talk about community and how community was the reason why my business started moving, which is I do journals and I'm a customer analytics business analyst type person. So those two things only happened when I got a team and I got some virtual assistants to start telling people about me and certain things like that. So I always talk about bossies. It was not, my podcast wouldn't be anywhere without Creative Visions. They know it. So I always shout them out. I always shout out the people who've helped me. So I want to give you a chance to do the same thing. I know none of us would be here if it wasn't for our tribe. So definitely want to talk about that. And then we want to make sure that you give time to any specials you have going on. Like I said, I do want to talk about what you have going on the 9th because I feel like a lot of my listeners will want to actually come and be a part of that. So, yeah. So
nice. I love it.
Nice little journey. Yeah, we'll make it through. And then it's about an hour. So then after that, we'll take pictures. I'll send you links to the show and to our little, I put it in a Dropbox, all the pictures that we take today, stuff that she took on my phone, her phone, stuff like that, so that you have it for your social media.
Perfect.
All right.
I'll do it. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Ready to go?
Yes.
All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey everybody, welcome to Entrepreneurish. We are here each and every Thursday at Live Hip Hop Daily with the crew Creative Vision. Woo! Every Thursday at 7. And today we have Shaun, or better known as the BOUGIE Grazer. Yes, and she has, okay, say it with me, charcuterie.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first thing you have to know before you call me is to say the word charcuterie.
And I love that it was on your website. It was like, say it with me, charcuterie.
Yes. Yes.
And so is it explain it. Is it a restaurant? Is this a workshop business? I've seen so many different things. I love your page on Instagram. Let's introduce you to this.
So my business started out almost 3 years ago. So we're almost 3 years old. We'll have our birthday in May. Okay. And we started out as just small graze boxes. So let me just start with the word charcuterie. Charcuterie is really just the meat. It's just, all that is meat. Really what I'm doing is graze boxes, but since we're so bougie and we like to say big fancy words, we are going to call it charcuterie. So I started out 2.5 years ago, and everything just kind of grew organically. So about 6 months ago, I decided that it was time for me to bring everybody that I've worked with, like all of my clientele, to a brick and mortar. So I have a brick and mortar. It's right downtown across from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And it is, it's an event studio, it's a collaboration hub, it's a supper club, and it's Atlanta's first made-to-order charcuterie. So you can come in, like I know sometimes I'll order charcuterie, right?
Yeah.
And then you get like some cheese in there that you're like,
You're like, all right.
I don't want this.
It's part of this. You push it to the side.
Right, and you may eat it last, right? So with this concept, it's almost like it's a Subway setup, right? So when you come in, you can say, okay, I want that I want that, I want that. And so you're creating and curating your own box right in front of your eyes. So first of its kind in Atlanta. People are doing it out there in the world, but in Atlanta, we are the first to do it.
I love it. And I love that it was Black owned. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, please come to this show.
Yes, of course. Yeah, of course. You know, I always pounce at the opportunity to create awareness. I feel like as a new or even as an experienced entrepreneur, you are always going, you can't advocate, no one else can advocate more about your business than you. So, you know, I've done this from the beginning. I've always shouted out my business. I've always had an elevator pitch, you know, whether it's 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and I'm always going to say, you know, hi to you. Networking is key. So.
Oh, good. Because this is what we talk about. I made this entire journal and planner based off of my networking skills and what it took for me to create a life around networking. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have time.
Yeah.
I had to schedule it in because it was literally the reason why I was able to have guests. It was the reason why I was able to even have this opportunity presented to me, is because I was meeting people and I was outside. I say that there's online networking and there's in-person networking. Which one do you like better?
So it's either or. You know, I feel like, and I read somewhere that it's good to have to get 10 no's. So there's so many people that have still left me red in their inbox, in the DMs, which is fine. And then there's some people that have heard, you know, word of mouth. But for me, I love the word of mouth, and the word of mouth comes from you operating in integrity at all times. You know, operating in integrity, not making everything that you do with a client transactional. You know, yes, we want the money, and yes, it's about the money, but don't make it so transactional, because those people it's not really what you said to them, it's how you made them feel. And that is so important, you know, in entrepreneurship. So I think that's how I've been able to grow so organically and so rapidly. And you know, people were probably like, oh, 40,000 followers. But for me, at 50 years old, and I didn't know anybody when I moved to Atlanta. And I've been on Good Day Atlanta like 5 times. So
it's nuts. I was going to say all of this, but yes, talk it. I love this.
It's the power of networking. It's the power of you saying hi, you pitching your business. You know, and I had to do a lot of, you know, free 99 stuff in the beginning.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because I've been hearing this all over the place. Some people are like, don't speak for free. Don't give your product for free. Don't do this for free. But if I'm honest, there'd be a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't have right now if I didn't do the free thing first.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, like, how do you feel about that? And like, as somebody who understands that as an entrepreneur, your goal is to make money. Right? Like, it's like, yes, I could be nice to everybody. This is my passion.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I do want to make money. How do you balance that? How do you make the money but still give?
No, so it's for me, I looked at it as marketing. So, you know what I mean? If you're going to spend $500 on marketing a month, right? Yeah. Then whatever you're giving to that person, then you cap it at $500. That's your marketing.
Okay.
You know, so it's not necessarily free, it's your marketing. So you have to just change your mindset about it, and then it doesn't feel like it's free. So it was me changing my mindset and saying, okay, this is going to create awareness. When I'm there, when I'm creating this graze table for free or sponsorship, then I'm able to get into this room where there are people in here where I can tell them about my business. And so a lot of times I have been in the room where, you know, I've created this beautiful spread and I've left my cards, and then I'll get business from that. So you have to look at it as a part of marketing. Don't look at it as free, because if you do, then your mind is always going to go like, you know, you're not going to put your heart into it, because you know what, I'm doing it for, oh my God, I'm doing this for free. You know, I'm cutting this cheese, and I'm like, no, I look at it as marketing. And then if you say, you know, hey, this is valued at $500, then now you don't necessarily have to, you can cut that out of your marketing budget.
Okay.
You know, that $500 or whatever. So I just kind of retrained my brain to think about it that way. And, you know, once you get to a certain point where you're like, okay, I've created enough awareness, or I don't have any more to give, then you can politely tell whoever's asking you for that sponsorship, you can say, hey, I've reached my budget this month in sponsorships, but maybe we can circle back next month. And that way it doesn't sound like, no, I'm not doing anything for free. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's all in that communication. And I think people appreciate that all the time. I get schools, I get, you know, and these are things that I don't necessarily have it, but, you know, I'm such a, you know, I'm a servant leader at the end of the day, and I'm such a giver that I probably would give everything away and like be poor. But I had to learn to say, hey, you know what, I've reached my sponsorship for this month, but yeah, let's circle back next month, or let's circle back in Q2 or Q3 when, you know, I might have some more. Or you just mentally say, I'm only going to do two a month, and that's it. And
anybody else who asks me, you ask me too late, I can't do it.
Right, yeah.
I want to ask you, how do you determine somebody that you're going to do something for free for? Because I think that's the other thing. Yeah. A lot of people ask, and just because somebody asks does not mean that they deserve your $500 in marketing. So and how do you determine that?
And so that's a tough one. Well, for me, it's not tough. You know, you also have to really make sure that you are aligning yourself with a business that you would be proud to stand next to, right? So you need to make sure that you guys are kind of equally yoked, right? So if you do a sponsorship for them, it's almost like, okay, well, what are you going to give me back? Or what am I going to do for you? Like if I did a sponsorship for, you know, someone from a television show, then I know that I'm going to be in the room with some other people. So you have to, you know, and I've also done sponsorships for schools, for mother-daughter dances, but those are things that I would just do out of the kindness of my heart. And I feel like sometimes when you have that type of a spirit, that comes back to you.
Because it just comes positively,
right?
So you know positively.
So that's just an energy thing for me. So, you know, I've done those in the past, and then there are some businesses where it didn't necessarily align with what I was doing, and those are the ones I kind of kick the can a little bit and say, you know, I can't do anything right now, but maybe something in the future, you know. And then I have people that I work with all the time. You know, I have a person that does candles that I work with all the time, and so I get candle people that'll come to me, and then I'll just say, hey, I already have someone that I'm partnering with on that. So it's just really all in the conversation and how you say it. And because some people will try and piggyback off of you and not necessarily bring anything to the table. So
oh my gosh,
yeah, it's really tough.
You get all kinds. What I noticed is that the bigger you get, the more the silly people come out, the people that you're like, now I know I didn't ever once represent that ever. But okay, I like your shot. How do I say no? So for you, because branding's everything. Yeah, branding's absolutely everything. How do you keep your brand integrity when people are pushing your limits? Because I know in this space where people are having fun, I know people might get too drunk or too loud or treating your space like disrespectfully. How do you deal with those moments? Because I feel like those are your pivotal moments as an entrepreneur. Is that moment where somebody's got you effed up,
right? Yeah,
and you gotta be like, I gotta put my professional face on.
Yeah. So I haven't. Fortunately, I haven't run into, well, I take it back. I did run into it one time, and it was someone who just, you know, blatantly had drank too much. And then, you know, they had like honey dripping all over their hands and was walking. I'm like, sis, come on. You gotta do better. Come on.
You're like,
you're not being bougie right now.
Right. We're away from the title.
Yeah, so it's you know, I just try and handle everything with tact. And there are some, you know, some clients that will, you know, I'll get on the phone with a client and they just, you know, will talk you to death. And so early on when I started my business, that was almost going to be the part of my burnout. Like that was going to be because you have to have so many conversations. So I have an admin now, and that has helped me out a lot. So, you know, and now we're at a really good place where she completely does my calendar. Okay. But to answer your original question, I because of my name, I don't necessarily get people who are not bougie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, you know, it's my name brings the bougie crowd.
Okay.
You know.
So you're like, I set it up so that I was already calling my ideal client to me. I like that.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, if I would have been called the ratchet grazer, you know, I would have gotten all the ratchet. But, I mean, I do have a workshop that's called Trap Charcuterie.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the
trap does not mean ratchet, and ratchet doesn't mean trap. So, that's true. So I feel you on that. I like how you did that one.
Right. So yeah,
like for the culture, but like
for the culture.
Let's keep it cute.
Right. But I haven't really run into too many people that I've had to check. You know, I think that, you know, for me it is, you know, if I would rather give. Excuse me, girl, this one.
I know. That's why I was like, take it slow.
I'd rather give someone their money back and just
deal with
to deal with it. I'd be like, you know what, I don't necessarily feel like this is, you know, I can help right now, or I'll make an, you know, excuse I don't have the availability or something like that. But I haven't really run into it. My clientele is they're so bougie and so nice, and they love it and they feel fancy, and so I love the brand that I've created. Yeah.
You know what's like cool for me is when I found your page, I found so many other people that I like know and follow who were already under your comments talking about I'm coming back, and I was like, wait a minute,
wait, where am I?
Why was I not invited to the Bougie Grazer? Why didn't I get the invite? But see, now I have you on my show, and now everybody's gonna want to come with me.
Yes. So.
No, but it's definitely what I like about it is that you have a business that spans across generations. So I was excited about it. My younger sisters who were like 20s were excited. Right. My mom was excited about it. Like, so I'm like, right there, you have 20s to 60-year-olds all loving this business. So I want to talk to you about the idea and how you got to this space where you can reach such a span of an audience.
So it's so interesting that you say that, because, you know, I actually looked at my analytics, and that's another thing that I do on Instagram. I'll look at my because that's where my biggest following is, and my analytics show that it's anywhere from 28 to like 65.
Yeah, and, that's exactly what I was seeing in there. I was like, my old coworker, I know she bougie too. You like going there? I was like, okay.
Yeah. So I was able to bridge this gap just following this charcuterie trend. I mean, because you have to think that, you know, I'm not sure how old you are, but
I'm 31.
Okay, 31. You probably grew up on Lunchables, right? So you already know a little bit about the snacking portion of it, right? So all I did was I took that and elevated it, and now my older ladies, they've been making cheese trays forever. But
like at all the Tupperware parties and stuff like that.
They've been making them forever, and they like to entertain. So they are the ones that want to make them. So I get a lot of them that are just like, I'm coming to the workshop because I want to learn how to make them. I want to make them pretty. But then my younger crew, they're just like, no, I'm just eating it. Let me pick one up, sis. It's cute. So it's been interesting, you know, the different ages, and I'll have different ages at my workshop too. And so, you know, there was one workshop that I had where, you know, it was a bunch of younger girls came in. They had their cute little high dresses on. And then we had the older ladies. I was like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. And so when they first came in, they was like, ooh, we were nervous because we saw the aunties in here.
Yeah, we're like, how are we going to have fun?
Right. But then at the end, they were believers, and they had so much fun. So, you know, I'm not sure what it is universally about what I'm doing, but universally it is bringing people together.
Yeah,
it's like a universal love.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I know for me, I sell charcuterie on Pinterest. Like me and Liv talk about this all the time. We're like Pinterest girls. Yeah. So we found like this is Pinterest where we're like the rose petal, like salami and stuff like that. So I didn't know that there was a place that you could go and you could make these or learn how to make them. I just thought, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to go on TikTok and learn from that girl.
Learn how to do it,
right, exactly. But then I was like, oh, I'm on Instagram and they're suggesting things. I was like, there's a place in Atlanta and it's a black lady. Oh my God, I have to go. I have to learn about this. No, like, so you're representing for a lot of people that bougie normally has like a skin color to it, if you want to be really honest. So it's
a negative connotation.
Yeah, or a negative connotation if it is gonna be our color. It's like
you think you're bougie.
Exactly. You think you're like, better than us. But it's like, no, I just like fancy things.
Right.
It's not better. It's just a preference. So I think for you, you hit like a space that's new, but not too new. It's like there's always been a bougie crowd. We just didn't have a place to go.
Right.
Like that's just really what it was.
Somebody always called you bougie at some point. Girl, you bougie. So,
there's always a bougie aunt. There's always a bougie niece. There's always, but now you gave us a place where we can all be like, hey, let's be bougie.
And we can be proud. And we can normalize being bougie.
I like that. Especially in the soft girl era. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like this is happening more? Or are you seeing more younger girls? Are you seeing more older women? What do you
I'm seeing more of my clientele is more of, my kids are gone to college. I'm empty nester. I am high in my career and I need something to do. I need something bougie to do. I need something fun to do. I'm not trying to smoke no hookah.
Right.
And I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? So,
I'm not trying to be out past 8.
Right. I'm not trying to be out past 8. So that's, I always say that, the BOUGIE Grazers were a great place for the aunties to hang out, and aunties could mean anybody, my auntie is an auntie, I'm an auntie, my niece is an auntie.
I became an auntie at 27.
See?
that was it. You're just an auntie as soon as somebody's 10 and they can call you old.
That's true. That's true. They love it. Yes. But it's been super fun. The studio is a work in progress though. Okay. It's me, like it's almost like I just put everything into it. It's like it looks like if you walk in there, they're like, okay, she's bougie. Like this is a bougie place.
Good.
So one thing I'm doing upstairs is a supper club. Yeah. So I'm very excited to
take your camera and tell them about that.
So the supper club, and that's another thing. As an entrepreneur, you always have to try and find ways to pivot. I don't know how long the charcuterie trend is gonna go. I in my Capricorn brain have to pivot. So this is not necessarily a total pivot out. This is an addition to what I'm doing. But the space is so beautiful. I'm a creative. The food that I'm doing is food art. And so I feel like there are so many chefs that are unrecognized in Atlanta that cook really good food. And I am so tired of the ordinary chicken and waffles and the shrimp and grits everywhere.
It's just shrimp and grits and lamb chops.
Lamb chops.
It's the same type of lamb chop.
And it's either stacked this way.
Yep. Or on the side, it's all filleted out, or it's stacked in the triangle.
Yeah, I'm all lamb chopped out. So we want to get some chefs that are going to create some memorable moments. We're going to call it the Bougie Supper Club. And you will be able to go on my page, read a chef's bio, their food, what type of food that they cook, and you can come in and purchase you could purchase a ticket online and come in and get a 4 or 5 course meal that is completely curated. Bring your own bottle. You can network with people. It's another great networking opportunity. And so it's going to be a whole vibe this summer. So I'm very excited about the supper club. I've already been interviewing chefs. So any chefs out there, I got to see your page. Now your food have to be good and it cannot be a lamb chop.
I know some
I'm just
people.
Kidding.
No, I do. Like I've had quite a few chefs on this show.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, I will actually send them.
Yeah,
to
send them
you.
my way. And if it goes well and people like them, they can be featured twice a month. But it's an opportunity for them to make money also, and then for them to create awareness. for their business. Because, you know, if I am not, you know, another thing about being an entrepreneur also is having purpose and passion. If I'm not being purposeful and thoughtful about what I'm doing and my platform, like if I'm not using my platform for something, like for another creative, then, you know, for me, what am I really doing, right?
I like that.
Yeah, so, you know.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'm making money, but I'm also like giving opportunities, making moments for other people. And I like that because I also read that your business can only go as far as your heart does. Yeah. And I really love that quote because it made me start going, okay, if I'm gonna have a business and I'm doing this like very close-hearted, I just want the money, it's not gonna show up. But the more I'm like, hey, I want to create opportunities and moments for other people, that's when it starts happening, because then it's not about me anymore.
Right, absolutely. I 100% agree. You know, just not being transactional. I had a really bad experience with a Black entrepreneur recently, and it wasn't necessarily, it was just how they made me feel. It was just like, hey, I missed that, so I'm going to give you $10 back. And I'm like, it's not about the money. And what am I going to do with $10?
Yeah.
It was about the entire, experience. And I could have taken my Black dollars anywhere. Yeah. But I took it to you. And for you to make me feel like, what you did was only worth $10, like that, to me, I will never, ever, ever, ever go to them again.
So that is another thing I do want to talk to you about, because it is Black History Month. So we are going to talk about Black entrepreneurs. What I have seen a lot, and I just mean this a lot, especially when it comes to Black entrepreneurs in the service industry, it's trash. Yeah, it is. And I hate to say that, but I'm like, it's like you don't want to go back because you get typical Black people from them. I don't know how to say this without getting canceled. So I'm really trying to change my words for it to make sense. But what I'm trying to say, y'all, is like sometimes you walk into your establishment and I feel unwelcomed. How me, as a Black girl that looks just like you, who owns your Black girl business, feel unwelcomed?
But that's not them though, right? Like if I hire somebody, my passion has to translate to them. So it's all,
okay,
you know what I mean?
Staff as well.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily that owner's fault, because right now it's really, really hard. It's tough out here to find people that's gonna have that same passion and also show that to your customers.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because from an entrepreneur side, you are going to be the one hiring people. Right. What do you look for somebody to represent you? Because I think that's the other thing. I don't think we're thinking about that when we hire someone.
So you have to find, well, and I saw this on somebody who didn't look like us, but she said you find the person that is doing the same thing that you're doing, probably better than what you're doing, and you try and hire them.
I like that.
So, it is...
Find somebody better than you.
Yeah, and you try and hire them, and hopefully they don't be like, okay, I'm going to take your shit and run. But, so you find somebody just as passionate as you, and then it's all in how you treat your team also, because, for me, I have a couple of people on my team, and I try and tell them every single day, thank you. I try and treat them how, this is another piece to this, but when you start hiring, you have to try and find what drives that person. So some people are driven by recognition, right? Hey, you won Employee of the Month, here's your award, and they're excited. Oh my God, I feel appreciated.
Yeah, okay, I like that. Okay.
Right? Or they like money. Like you could tell. Okay, well, hey, here's $10. Go to Starbucks, buy coffee before you get here, and you can reward them that way. You can reward a person based on what drives them. So one question that you need to be asking during your interview process is, what drives you? Is it money? Is it recognition? And there's a couple more things, and you could probably look it up and Google it, but you have to find what drives your team member, because it is not cookie cutter. It's almost like you can't treat everybody the same. You have to in a certain sense, in a broader sense, but when it comes to that individual, you treat them.
When it comes to keeping them motivated.
You motivate them how, whether it's a bonus, whether, hey, I give you $10, or whether, hey, you get that big employee of the month, or, whatever it is, whether it's recognition, whatever it is, you give it to them.
Find that thing that'll keep them doing that.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think it's really, I feel like customer service is like the biggest difference between certain businesses. Because I want to support, but I also want to feel like I could recommend this to somebody. Like, I don't know about you, but I have this one aunt that I think about when I think about customer service. She's difficult. She's a difficult person, right. But she's super nice. She's like my favorite aunt in the world, but you already know if you don't come correct, she gonna have something to say, right?
Yeah.
But I love her because she has those standards, but at the same time, you already know don't play with her when it comes to her stuff. So
she send the food back.
Exactly. She's a send the food back. She's a no you didn't. Like, I know I'm not still waiting in this line type person. Like, she's one of those. So I always think when it comes to a business, how would my aunt feel about this transaction? Because if I feel like my aunt's about to say something, like she's coming to your counter, you finna hear about this for the next 15 minutes, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna come back here because I can't recommend this to her. Like, if I'm gonna recommend this to somebody else and they have higher standards than I do, I already know that you're not gonna meet them. So I'm gonna be like, yeah, so no. So I always think about that aunt. Now, if in my head, you're making me so happy that I know if my aunt came here, she'd be happy too. Oh, I'm telling everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling everybody about your business. I'm like gonna shout you out. I'm gonna post you like without you even asking. I'm gonna like put you in my stories. I'm gonna tell like, I don't know, my cousin who just came in from Dallas, like, this is a place that you have to go. That's the difference. So I'm like, guys, customer service is so...
It really is.
It's so huge.
Like, just don't make people feel like it's a transaction.
Yeah.
And if you can remember the word transaction, remember, does this feel transactional? Does this feel like I'm just, are you saying, hey, are you following me on social media? Hey, can I follow you on social media? Hey, how did you hear about the BOUGIE Grazer? Oh, do you work in the area? Like, don't make it so transactional. You don't have to be their best friend. You have to be friendly, not friends, if that makes sense. So, I think that is what has gotten me so many referrals, is not making it's so transactional. And because at the end of the day, I don't want to say at the end of the day it's meat and cheese. I don't want to downplay anything that I'm doing, but you're like, this is what it is, but I add so much more to this meat and cheese that now it's me, right?
It's bougie.
It's bougie, girl.
I like that. Okay, so is this your first business? That's the question, because I was a serial quitter, start a business, quit a business. I was a serial
non-starter. I had 18 businesses and never started them.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was the only one that I actually executed on, and I think that when you know, you know. And this one, this business actually, I had gotten terminated from my corporate job, and it was, a time for me where I was on the couch. I was sad. I was depressed. I was like, what in the heck is what in the heck is this Capricorn gonna do? Like, it's just that, and so my partner at the time, well, not at the time, still at the time, was like, I don't know, but I didn't sign up for this, and you need to get off the couch, and you need to figure out what you're gonna bring to this barbecue. I was like, okay. So just like you, I went online, and I was like, oh, okay, let me, I always bring a board, whatever, maybe some chocolate covered strawberries. And I don't know what I was like. But then I saw this lady who had a business, and I was like, wait, what? They sell this? There's a business doing this? I can do this. And so that, for me, I took all of my corporate skills. They were all transferable. Everything that I did in my corporate job for 25 years was transferable, to my business, whether it came to marketing, customer service, employees. You know, I had a huge team. I had like 45 employees. So, you know, all of it was very transferable, and I was able to take that knowledge and apply everything that I learned over the years into my business. And that is another reason why it has been so successful. When you're used to making people millions and millions of dollars, you can make your own self millions and millions of dollars. I'm not there yet, but I will be.
Right. No, what I really like about that is that you're saying what you're doing now can be used for something later. So I think especially in this day and age, it's like if you're not famous by 30, if you're not, no, seriously, it's like if you're not TikTok famous, or if you haven't made all your money by the time you hit a certain age, everybody's like, I'm a failure. I don't, like, what am I gonna do? And for me, I didn't even start till I was 30.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine.
Yeah, slow walking.
Like,
because I worked full time for almost 2 years before I quit my job.
Okay,
you know,
that's good
or
to
my
know.
job quit me.
Yeah.
They was like, listen, we see your hustle is bigger than getting bigger than your job. You don't see it. And I was like, okay, you're right. Okay, I'm probably not a good employee.
I was only here for the insurance.
Right. So, I recently, it was just a side hustle. It was a side hustle until it wasn't a side hustle. And so now I'm full time, but, you know, you'll know when it's supposed to be full time, but it was literally a side hustle for almost 2 years.
Until it just became too big for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another thing for me, you said that your job noticed that you were getting too big before you did. I think that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot of us don't see ourselves for real. So when was the moment for you where you were just like, I'm an entrepreneur?
Right.
When did you no longer feel entrepreneur-ish? When did you finally feel like,
I
really do this thing?
Right. I think it was the first time I was on Good Day Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Tell me about even how that happened.
God, networking. The power of networking.
Okay.
Like networking. So it was one of my clients. It was the power of networking. I asked her. I knew that she was. She had done some like little small plays with Paul Milligan from Fox 5. And I was like, do you think maybe he would want to do a segment on charcuterie? And she was like, I love you. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Wow.
And so I sent him an email and I just shared my story with him. It was a non-COVID story because I think everyone is just over, you know, during the pandemic. I was, my business started in 2021. And so he was like, absolutely, let me, you know, forward you. And I've been a friend of the show for like the last 2.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been on the Portia show. Been on the 11 Alive show. Wow. And so it was just from that one, me asking, and guarantee there are going to be times where you're going to get a no. I get a no all the time. And you know, the no's help you get your pitch better.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, you know, and sometimes, you know, at first I was like, ooh, I gotta know. And you will get imposter syndrome as well, you know, even in being an entrepreneur. Because, you know, you'll think that someone else's business is flourishing a little bit more than yours. And there are some other charcuterie businesses out here. They just don't look like me. There's some, you know, that are coming up behind me now that I've been able to help and train and send business to also. Wow. But the ones who don't look like me, they refer each other to each other. You know what I mean? I've yet to get a referral from, and they are, you know,
from their community that you've helped them start. Wow. I've seen that a lot as well. What do you do? Because seeing unfair things is hard. Yeah. So what do you do for yourself to keep saying, I'm going to keep moving in my direction, even though it doesn't always seem fair? Yeah, you know, life is not fair. You know, I think when I first started, I didn't understand it because I would have people come to my workshop, which was really just kind of like a novelty type fun workshop. But they were coming, you know, my workshop was only like $80 when I first started, maybe 75 or something like that. Now it's you know, more. But when I first started, they were coming to
to get the knowledge to start their own business. And I didn't understand that.
And you were like, oh, I'm just teaching this class. And you're like, no, I'm teaching you how to run me out of town.
Right. And then I didn't understand that until someone was like, it's enough. And then I had to think about it. I was like, it's enough out here for everybody. Like, I'm not tripping on that. And it's actually flattering that someone would come to my class and you know, get those skills, and now they want to be an entrepreneur. So I had to, it's something you have to self-check yourself when that happens. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, you have to self-check, because you know, you would get that, well, how dare them, and you know, they're doing the same thing that I'm doing, but you cannot be like that. It has to be collaboration over competition.
Because I know for me, I've had a podcast for a while, and it was not until it actually started moving that I started realizing a lot of other people started having podcasts. And then I was like,
how did that make you feel?
I was like, this is fun.
Right.
Thanks. I was like, this is cool. I've been doing this for a long time, but you have more followers, so that worked out for you. That's nice. And it took me a minute, because I feel what you were saying, where it's like, I saw it. I saw that it was unfair, but I also had to be like, it's me. This is my version, and my version's gonna have its time when my version has its time.
Right.
So I had to go, okay. I've also watched those same people start something that they weren't passionate about and not complete it.
Exactly.
So then I was like, okay, so was it really something for you to even be upset about? Could you have put that energy somewhere else? So then I had to start going, you know what?
That's the magic.
It's okay. It's cool. It's cool. Start a podcast if you want to. I've been on here longer. I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'll be on yours. Like, come hang out with me.
Right.
Like, that's really how I just started going. So then I started going to other people's podcasts, even if I was like, even sometimes you are like, wow, you're doing really well. So then what I started doing was just asking, what do you do? And then maybe they'll tell me they do differently than what I do.
Yeah, I think that you made a really great point about, you know, they have to have the passion for it. I think some people will see you on the ride, and maybe you're probably on the high of the ride, and you like holding your arms up, and you like, like you having a good time, and then they hop on the ride, and they don't realize that shit is gonna go down. Excuse me, can I cuss?
No, yeah, you can cuss. Okay. We normally do. I was just cussing because you weren't cussing.
No, it's gonna go down, and then, you know what I mean, and then they hop off. They be like, oh, hell no, I can't. You know what I mean? That wasn't for me. And I've had a lot of people that have come to my class, that have come to my class and started their own charcuterie business. And then they're like, yeah, this is not for me. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Whatever your customers were, send them my way.
Girl.
That's so honestly, when you do start to change to let's collaborate.
Yep.
Then what I realized, I could start to tell a difference between what my show was doing for my people versus what their show was doing for their people. Then when I stopped being like, okay, oh my God, you have a show and I have a show. And when I started going, let me watch your show, I'd be like, dang, that's actually a good show.
Yeah.
I like your podcast. Let me talk to people about this. And then I was like, you know what? If you're not a hater for like 2 seconds,
right,
you might see why they have a podcast and who they were supposed to affect.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're all put here to change certain people's lives. And just because I can change your life does not mean that somebody else can change your life.
Yeah.
Do the exact same thing and maybe you don't vibe the same way. Like, I just had to realize, look, they're gonna catch their people, you're gonna catch yours.
I mean, there's McDonald's and Burger King, and they're right next door to each other.
And you're right. And we really don't think about that. I think that's the other thing, is sharing market space always seems.
It seems. I mean, you know, it seems scary, but it's not. There's a McDonald's and a Burger King next to each other. Like, literally half the time they are right next to each other. And how have they been able to continue alongside of each other for so many years?
Yeah, just mind their business. So like,
you
look,
just stay.
We're Burger King.
We're Burger King. I'm the BOUGIE Grazer, and
right.
You are who you are. So, you know, it is, it's hard, it's tough, you know, as an entrepreneur, just to, you know, see someone start a business. You know, I've had people who were my friends that, you know, were like secretly starting a shark. I'm like, girl, you ain't even have to be keeping a secret. Now, you know, I would have listened.
No, first of all,
why even keep it a secret?
Right, the reason you felt like you had to keep it a secret should already tell you who you are to me, but you can tell me.
So yeah, I mean it you know, it happens, but I've just been able to just, you know, stay consistent, stay in my lane, help out when I can. Operate in integrity at all times, and know that, you know, this is just something that I enjoy doing, and you know, I have a passion for it, therefore, you know, it is bringing, you know, that purpose. So
I like that. So you said 2.5 years in business.
Yep.
What was your biggest surprise? Biggest business surprise? I mean, you were like, I got my brick and mortar, I'm here now. What was the thing where you're like, whoa?
So it was really my grand opening. Like, I did not feel, because first of all, my ass went out and bought like 100 bottles of champagne. We are gonna have
a big party.
Right, we're gonna have a toast every hour on the hour, and we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna invite
I love
this.
your bougie mindset.
Yes, I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna have a violinist, and which I did.
Okay,
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm gonna have a big black old school car, and it's gonna be flowers cascading out, which I did.
Okay.
I'm gonna have, you know, I'm gonna have the city out. I'm gonna do so everything, and then I posted it online, and I think for Eventbrite, I did like 300 RSVPs, and like 2 days later, they were all gone. Like, when I tell you there were so many people out there, and I was like, oh my God, you guys really have supported me for 2 years. Like, everybody was there and they wanted to see, and it was such a beautiful thing, and I was just like so humbled and so excited about it, and everyone had such a good time. Now please come back as a customer.
She said not just one day, all the days. Keep all your parties here.
But no, I think at that moment was when I was like, I really saw the love, you know, from you know, everybody who has been rocking with me, you know, for the last 2.5 years. And, you know, I've been invited to the National Urban League, and these are all people that have seen me, or their nieces have seen me and was like, oh, auntie, you gonna love this, because they had that bougie auntie. So
I like that.
So that's how I've been able to really stay relevant. But, you know, I just have to humble myself all the time, because, you know, one day you could be up and the next day you could be down. You know what I mean? One thing can happen and you were just not
able to do any of this stuff anymore.
You're just a non-factor. So
we've all had those moments where it's like, I'm on cloud 9, and it's like, nope, I'm in hell.
Right. Yeah.
I do want to ask you, when you have low moments, what do you do to bring yourself back to you?
So I think it's about having a really great circle, you know, and you know, one of the other things about being an entrepreneur, you're gonna lose some friends. You're gonna lose those friends who that are not entrepreneurs, because they're gonna want you to come and hang out, but you can't, because you working, you hustling, you know, and so you're gonna have some friends that are gonna fall off. And so for me, it was very helpful for me to have a circle of friends that were entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And so, you know, we can share stories of what we're going through, and then also talk about not necessarily the struggles, but, you know, I can share the struggle with, you know, one of my entrepreneurial friends, and she'd be like, well, girl, shit, I only made $19 too today.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, you know, and then I can say, well, why don't you try this? Or, you know, we can just relate to each other. So it's really just having more entrepreneurial friends that have some type of a business, because the ones that don't necessarily, they'll understand you to a certain extent, but not really.
I'm not gonna understand. I think that was my biggest thing, because I worked for Twitter before the big layoffs.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was a 6-figure tech girl, and so that was my life. And then all of a sudden, I was laid off and I just had time, and I was like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm gonna podcast. And then I was like, I'm gonna do my analytics, and I'm gonna do it for me. I'm not gonna do it for anybody else. And that first 6 months where I was still trying to figure everything out, I lost a lot of friends because they were like, you're not the same girl.
You're too busy.
Yeah, you're super busy, or you're always trying to save your money. Because, you know, I went out, I had bougie friends who dinner was $90 to $120. And that was every other night. And I could do that back then, but I couldn't do it now. So then it was a lot of these things and these moments where I was like, man, I'm worried about my marketing. Who do I talk to about this? So you sit there during wine night and talk about your marketing issues. It's not super fun.
No.
Everybody else has boyfriend problems, and you're like, well, I just can't sell this product.
You're like,
I'm like, girl, you can get out the circle. I'm talking about my man cheating.
right. Yeah, no, I mean, that's it. And, you know, unfortunately, you're living, you're eating, and you're breathing your business in the first 2 years. And so there's not really a lot to talk about. And, you know, it also creates challenges in a relationship too, if you are in a relationship, because they don't understand why you're on your phone so much.
Mm-hmm. I luckily found somebody who's super supportive and also has their own business and their own entrepreneurial dreams. Mm-hmm. So watching me do it is actually motivating. So I was like, but that's what I prayed for. Mm-hmm. I prayed for that. I don't think that's just given to anybody. I think I had to really go out and like search and pray for that. Right. Because I was like, I'm gonna be out here. I'm gonna do this show because I'm watching it change lives. I'm watching people really, really enjoy just having, like you said, having boss friends, having boss besties. Like, this was new. I did not realize how much I needed friends that were also entrepreneurs, and how much I needed to be in a relationship who was also gonna be cool with that. As soon as that happened to me, I was like, I can just do things. Yeah. I can just be up till 2 a.m. with my random thoughts, and it's not weird, and you don't feel like I'm cheating. You just go, I'm just researching.
I'm researching, exactly.
My brain won't shut off tonight. That's what's happening. Yeah, I mean, does that happen to you? Where you're like in the middle of the night and you just get struck with creativity. Yes. So you're like 3 a.m. walking around with this idea. That's me all the time.
Yeah, the other night I was just like, there's an idea that was stuck in my head, and I was like, okay, I gotta do this. Oh my God. I was like, who can I call tonight at 3 a.m? And my partner was like, nobody, go to sleep.
No one.
Go to sleep. You about to call the couch. Like, I was like, oh, wow.
Well, somebody will talk to me about this in the morning. But I feel you. I did the same thing. But I do, I have my journal app. So they have notes, but now iPhone has a journal app.
Really?
It's so much better. Yes. I was talking about this last episode.
It's not the regular notes?
No, there's a new one that's called Journal. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, let me see that.
Yeah, because I was like, I think y'all
Can you ask Siri to do it?
Yeah, it's like it's a new thing. So
you can lock it too.
Yeah, you can lock it and everything. So you can do. So I do voice notes.
Nice.
They have like suggestions on what you can write about, but basically you just hit new entry and then you can add pictures, add voices.
What?
Yeah, everything. They even have like AI prompts, guys. It's ridiculous.
Excuse me.
It's okay. This has been a life changer for me. So these things, you saw how this one's like 24 minutes. Yeah. This is a brain dump on a possible future business.
And is that
it's called Journal. It's on
the new iPhone page. It's called Journal. Okay.
Yeah, it's just called Journal. Like, look, if I search it, it's this little butterfly.
That's what that little butterfly is. I did not know what that was. I was like,
it's this little thing right here. If y'all were looking, it's that app. You're welcome, Apple, for your free promo.
It's right there.
It's right there. Girl, get started on that because you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. If you 2 a.m. talk to yourself, this is the app for you.
Right? Oh my goodness.
No, I use it all the time.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, that's my notes 2.0. I was like, yeah, sometimes I do just want to talk to myself for a second, get this mental note down, and This has been a lifesaver.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So what I do is I'll put like titles, and then I'll talk to myself, then I'll put another title, and then I'll talk to myself, and then another one. And then it ends up being like a full thought at the end of it. Like, I'm very, very smart. a little spazzy, but super.
Wow, and you can add pictures. You
can add pictures and everything. You can even send them to people in your contacts. Like,
I see. I even have some people that are
that are suggested. See, you could share journals. I don't know who wants to do that. Y'all do not want to know my secret thoughts. But
wow,
they have all of that.
I like it.
I love it. So that's my entrepreneur tool. What do you use for your business? That's like a tool that you would say, if you're gonna be in your industry, you have to have this app or this tool.
God, my admin.
Your admin? Yep. Okay, I like that.
But I mean, my Google Calendar. If it's not on my calendar, I'm not even there. I'm not even.
I understand. You're like, look,
if it's not on my
space was empty, so I was
doing something else. But that's helped me. You know, my business is more service driven, so there's not a ton of admin items that I have to do. You know, I have of course my website, and there are some, the only really automated tools that I use is really my Google Calendar, which helps me out a lot, and then my person who does my admin. But we still are very
an email list or anything like that you use. Okay.
So for email and again, I have to get better. But for me, I think sometimes when another thing that happens with entrepreneurs is they'll want to go viral. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't want that smoke. You know what I mean? You really don't. Because just think if I went viral today, I don't have the bandwidth.
You're not ready.
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
So I try and take things really, really slow, and make sure that when I'm ready for the smoke, I'll put it out there. So my email list, I have thousands of emails right now, but I haven't really done anything because I don't want the floodgates to open. But I'm thinking more of like blogging and recipes and things like that where it would be helpful. But other than that,
you're like, no.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that is something we do have to realize, is that even though we might want to be viral, we might not be ready. I think that's something that I have to struggle with myself, is saying, hey, you might not be ready for that. Like, if you struggle to keep your schedule now, how will you handle a whole bunch of bookings or more than one client, things like that. So we have to think about scaling. Yeah. So when you created your business 2 years ago, did you have in mind scaling then, or did you think about it as a group?
So scaling is, for creative, scaling is kind of hard. It's almost like being a famous artist, right? Mm-hmm. Am I going to duplicate and make a series and print these out and sell them, or am I going to paint one picture one by one? Mm-hmm. So for me, my business is such an artistic business that for a long time it's been harder for me to scale. But I have brought somebody on who is a creative like me, who had a charcuterie business, who I'm going to get to start doing like some of my workshops and things like that. So, right now I'm at the peak of what I can do by myself. Okay. So I have to get out of my own head and say, in order for me to get to that next step, I have to bring somebody else in. Mm. So it's all about bringing that other person in. And so now that I'm starting to do that, now I can double things, double where I'm at.
Okay, so that brings me right into Bossies. So Bossies are boss besties. How do you determine who you're going to do business with? Mm-hmm. Because that is a huge question. I've seen a lot of people be friends, go into business together, and now they're not friends.
Right.
How are you able to navigate that?
Well, it's definitely an NDA.
Okay. Okay. Let's be honest.
I mean, it's definitely an NDA, and just setting those expectations. Hey, are you, and if someone comes to you and says, hey, I want to work for you because in 2 years, I want to do this. Then now you have that knowledge, and you can say, you can make the decision of whether you want to bring that person in or not. But if this person is like, no, I believe in you, I believe in what you're doing, it's not my, I know how to do it, I enjoy doing it, but this is what I know that if I help you grow, it's going to help me grow. Then, those are the people that I try and align myself with in an NDA. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've actually heard that a lot from entrepreneurs saying, don't hire someone just like you or who wants to be you. Has that ever happened to you? And can you kind of explain that concept a little bit more? To some of us who may are like, I'm looking for someone, but let me know what red flags are before I start.
I think the red flags are, people who are trying to, do business on the side as they're doing the same business with you. I think that's a huge conflict, for me, and I don't mind it, but, you either are going to be, on this side. And you just got to tell me up front which one you want to do. I can either help you catapult your business or we can catapult my business together. And then, you just have to, I think it's about communication.
Yeah, you're like, please don't lie to me and say you want to help my business, but you're really here to create your own.
Right. Or just to, get inspiration, and again, a lot of people will bow out gracefully when you present them and say, hey, okay, here's my NDA. Like, here's what here's what the expectations are. If you're working with me, then
here's my non-compete.
Yeah.
So if you did come here to start your own charcuterie board business, this will stop you.
So and I I've gotten a lot of PR, people that want to be PR and marketing and I just because I've gotten so far on my own, it's hard for me to commit to that and say, okay, I'm going to bring in PR because
I've been doing well.
I've been doing well, but we'll see. I don't know.
I think for you, and see, this is the other thing that I like. As an entrepreneur, you need to decide what type of entrepreneur you are.
Right.
I don't think everybody is a tycoon. Like, I don't think everybody wants to run $6 billion businesses. I don't think everybody wants to do that. I think some people do.
I'm just kidding.
And I was about to say, like, if that's what you want to do.
No.
I cannot imagine running Amazon, Netflix, and something else at the same time. I'd be like, look, y'all are all getting on my fucking
Yeah.
I'm definitely like I always said I wanted to grow a business to a point where people wanted to buy it. I want to be that type of person.
I think that's where I'm at.
I was like, I want to grow a business, but I know once the business gets out of my like easy control hands, I'm not gonna want to do it. I'm gonna want to have my hands in all the pieces. So I'm gonna grow it to a point where I can have all my hands in the pieces, sell it to somebody else, and then I can start again with a brand new idea.
I love it. And I think that people will ask me all the time, you really want to sell the Bougie Grazer? I'm like, yeah.
Look, I was about to say, so many people made their first $1 billion off of starting a business and then chucking that thing, and I'm like, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I was like, but I guess I watched Twitter do it. The guy who owns Twitter do it. I mean, he started this business. It took him 13 years to get Twitter to be the platform. Yeah. And then he was like, fuck it. He made $45 million that day.
Was it billion? No, it was
billion. No, it was billion.
Yeah.
I mean, just him. And then his even the people on the board all made $45 million. I think in total he makes like half a billion or something off of that sale. So I said, for me, okay, if I made a business and then I end up getting $500 million off of it, fine, you could take it.
Yeah, fine.
I don't need this.
Hello.
So, when you think of yourself as an entrepreneur, what type of entrepreneur are you?
So I am the type of entrepreneur that is, very, very I'm hands-on. For now, I had to stop being so hands-on, but very hands-on, very in the weeds, when it comes to, my customer service, my reviews, my team, the products that I serve, what I'm putting out there. So, you know, I don't know what that's called, but it's a very, very
You're like a hands-on entrepreneur.
I'm very hands-on in the process. So
I like that. And my last question: what came first for you? Yep. The name or the structure of the business?
So the idea.
The idea came first.
The idea came first, and then I was like, okay, I need a name.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea came, of course, when I was threatened to get off the couch. And then I was like, okay, well, what am I going to call it? Well, these are really graze boards. And I'm a grazer in nature. So I just graze all day long, which, by the way, speeds up your metabolism. And it's better than like 3 heavy meals. So I'm just a grazer. And then people all my life have always called me bougie. I don't know why, because girl, I be ghetto sometimes. I be so ghetto sometimes. I mean, I might do a table or go and drop off a client order. They'd be like, bougie where?
Your style's very clean. It's very clean. So maybe that's where the bougie
Maybe. I have no idea, girl. Half the time I do not feel bougie. So the name came afterwards, and it really just encompassed me. And so I'm just like, I am the Bougie Grazer. And I think when people either eat my product or experience what I have, they'll be like, damn, I'm a Bougie Grazer too. So, you know what I mean? Like you can relate to the name, right? Because you're bougie.
Exactly.
And then you're just grazing off. Yeah. So it's just an elevated snacking experience. So I always think about it as the best, like if you were having a terrible day and you just had all of the best snacks in front of you. Wouldn't that just be amazing? Just all of the best.
Yeah.
Like the best chocolate.
The best of the best. And then when I think about it, it's a charcuterie board. Like if I really think about it, that's all the snacks I was gonna put out.
It's a no-brainer.
I like it. Okay. Please tell the audience, which we're gonna give her camera, yeah? Yep. Tell them where they can find you and talk about what you have coming up in March.
Sure. So you can find me on Instagram at the Bougie Grazer. Bougie is spelled Bougie. That's the real way to spell it. Not with the J.
Yeah, I hate
just
the J
weird.
space.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
I came from this stupid song. They didn't know how to spell it.
Oh, bad and bougie.
Yes.
Oh, girl. I was like, who even thought about spelling it with a J? It's with a G. Thank you very much.
Somebody who would live bougie.
Right. So in March, I'm having champagne and charcuterie. It's the hottest. Like we have a DJ. DJ, 2 flights of champagne. Everyone leaves with, a board that serves 2 to 3 people, and it is an absolutely amazing time. Also in May, January, March, April, May. In May, I'm doing a Bridgerton watch party.
No
way! And see, I haven't even announced it yet, and you guys are going crazy. Yes, I'm doing a Bridgerton watch party. Are you there? Are you guys coming? What? You know it's the yellow. So are you guys all going to be in yellow? It's her turn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, no, literally just say it and we'll be there. I was about to say, and spring's coming and everybody's doing cottagecore. Do a lot of that.
Yes.
Do a lot of that. If you just say, hey, everybody wear your cottagecore outfit and do videos.
Okay.
Like, everybody will.
I have no idea what cottagecore is.
It's the those really frilly, the corset dresses with the frilly.
I'll send you a Pinterest board.
I'll send you a Pinterest board. You
Y'all
all know me. I'm already on it, and I already picked out half my spring to be that. So please invite me.
Yes. So we are doing a Bridgerton watch party. I just ordered a huge screen and we'll probably do 2 sessions because I know it'll be sold out.
Like those little dresses.
Oh yes.
Those little cute ones.
Yes.
The little cute little these.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
This is cottagecore, guys.
Why do I even have like 3 of those in my closet? I don't even know what they were. Yeah, I probably have to wear that.
This is who you are. Yes.
Yes. No. So I'm excited about that. So Bridgerton watch party. What else are we doing?
We got so excited.
We got the
We should have filmed that.
I wish we did.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tea party, but so we'll have tea. and we'll have all of the tea sandwiches, and then we'll have charcuterie. And I think I'll only probably have like 40 seats. So for the first session,
please call me. We need at least 4.
So just keep a watch out for that. But then monthly we have the champagne and charcuterie.
Bring my mom to that one.
Yeah, bring your mom to that. And then I'll probably do another trap charcuterie. I think there's something else coming up. I cannot remember unless it's on my calendar.
Okay, so where do we find this event calendar that all of us are going to subscribe to?
I know.
So, when is this Bridgerton?
Right. So the lady who's doing the Bridgerton watch party with me, she's like, Shaundra, when are we going to market it? I'm like, girl, I have like 8 other events prior to that to market it. But I think next week is when, because I know it'll sell out really fast. My workshops sell out really fast.
I can tell because you have super good ideas. You don't just do a workshop. You put a whole idea behind it. I would love to sit there and be Charlotte for an afternoon.
Right? And just be like,
I need the gray wig though. If we're gonna do this, we have to really.
Oh, y'all are really gonna
show out,
girl. But you know what? There's people who they have like not necessarily the Bridgerton party, but they have the parties that are themed like that, but it's not us.
Yeah.
And so for me to be able to bring it,
bring it to our community.
Yeah, I'm bringing it.
The other thing is sometimes we don't go to those things because we already know what it's about to be.
Right.
And so we're not gonna like the music, we're probably gonna not like the food, and we're probably not gonna like the people that we're gonna talk to, so we're not gonna show up.
No.
So if you have it for our people, we're gonna be like, I know if I go there, I'm gonna find another Black girl that also watches Bridgerton, and now we can talk about it.
Right.
And I think that's what it is. You do something that other people are doing, but they don't think about us when they come up with it, and you're doing it just for us. And it's so nice. You guys, if you guys have not followed her, we need to do this. We gotta do Black History right, okay? So if you guys, you need to be following me. Follow at entrepreneur.ish.podcast. But then after that, go to at the BOUGIE Grazer.
With a G.
Yeah, with a G. And then isn't there an I in there? No?
Yeah, G. Yeah, BOUGIE. The BOUGIE.
Okay.
BOUGIE.
Yes.
Grazer. GRAZER.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we'll get it out for you guys, and then we want you guys to come to these events. March 9th.
Come through. It's a whole vibe. And if you don't believe it, literally, just go to my Google reviews. Go to
her page.
Go to my page. Yeah.
I saw the last events, and when I told you I was reading the comments, and I kept finding people I knew, and I was like, you guys keep going places without me, and we gotta talk about it.
It's a bigger conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. But I just liked it. I was like, wow. If we're gonna highlight a business, let's highlight a business that we already know. Mm-hmm. Something that Atlanta's already looking out for you.
I know.
So
y'all been
embraced you and everything. I promise you, after the Bridgerton party, you won't know what to do with yourself.
Girl, Supper Club in Bridgerton is coming up. So
yeah,
the Supper Club is gonna be really, really nice. I want something different to eat every Thursday. You know what I mean? I want to do something. I want a date night.
I would do solo dates because there's a lot of women who are dating themselves now. So I would definitely do that. And then something for couples that's not Valentine's.
No, well, I mean, at the Supper Club, anybody can come. You can come. Nice. You can come by yourself. You can come with a date. It's not. Wow. It literally is a big ass table where people can. You're going to be sitting with a stranger and you're going to be having dinner.
I like that. And you know what? Honestly, there's not a lot of places where you can go interact with people. With strangers where it's you're going to interact with a stranger. Right. It's not weird that you're about to go talk to some random people.
Right. No, it's going to be a whole vibe. So I'm excited about the Supper Club. I'm definitely, don't at me. I didn't watch Bridgerton. I haven't watched. I think I watched the first season, and then I just get
okay.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's
right?
okay.
But I feel like it was going to be a whole vibe. I feel like
it's for the girls who love stories. If I read all those romance books when I was growing up, so that's my parents' fault for allowing me to read those things. But It's for those girlies, for the ones that just.
But that's okay. I'm excited about it. So.
So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Entrepreneurs. We were here on Live Hip Hop Daily at 7 with the crew, Creative Vision. Woo! And we will see you guys next week.